Hey beautiful friends, thanks for popping in and stopping by my YouTube channel. I'm excited today to share some glam with you, kind of my ode to Vegas. I'm gonna be doing like a night on the town look, and the reason why it's an ode to Vegas is not because I was born there, which I was, but it's because I'm going to be going to the Jafra National Convention this week. By the time you see this video, I probably will have already been there, but I'm so excited I can't stand it. So I'm kind of going to practice my look that I'm gonna be wearing one of the days, and I wanna share it with you because what if you have a night on the town or a trip to Vegas or something you wanna look super fabulous for? So I'm gonna share this look with you and teach you how to do it in a simple way. It doesn't matter how old you are, it doesn't matter how your skin looks, it doesn't matter if you think you have wrinkles under your eyes, you're still gonna look amazing. So check this out. I already have fabulous skincare as usual. I did my skin prep this morning. I am gonna start with primer now. You guys, you already know me by now. If you've been by my channel once or twice, you know that I use a lot of products by Jafra Cosmetics. Obviously, I'm going to their convention this week. But I have partnered with them for over 8 years now, or almost 8 years now, I mean. And I love them, but I also have some of my own products that I'll be using that I have kind of a few of my own pieces here at the beauty bar that I like to use, as well as some other faves that I'll be using today that I'll introduce you to. So right now I'm just putting on a water-based primer, super simple, and wow, it's warm today. It's like a bazillion degrees in Yuma. So I'm gonna bring this fan over. Yes, I have a fan I keep on myself all the time. Welcome to menopause, my friends. Welcome to menopause. Okay. So this is my water-based primer. Speaking of menopause, I think a primer is really important because it helps your foundation last longer. Honestly, I've always been like, well, I don't like to use too many products. I'm not really down with that, you know, buy all the things because all the influencers say, or because the department store says, or whatever. But I have to say that I think primer is worth the investment. So now I'm gonna go in with a foundation that's way too deep for me, but I have a plan. I'm gonna use it because I want to be a little bit bronzy, but I'm not gonna use it on my whole face. I'm gonna combine it with a lighter shade. Let's see how it's going, okay. And I have a mirror over here on my right that I'm gonna refer to occasionally just so I can kind of see the overall look. If you have been hanging out with me for any period of time, you know that I don't see very well, which actually works in your favor because if you happen to be over 50 or maybe over 40, you might not see very well either. And I have great tips and tricks that work for that. How to get your makeup on when you don't see great, but still look good to others. But you know what? There's hope in that because maybe your friends don't see good either. So they might think you look fabulous too. You're just like nice and blurry and they're like, girl, you're not even aging. You're just like looking nice and blurred and they think you don't have any wrinkles, but it's really because they can't see you any better than you can see yourself. So right now I have this kind of light layer of this foundation that's way too deep for me. You can see I look a little bit like I got a fake tan almost. It's not too bad honestly, but it's not a super great match. But again, it's on purpose. And this is the water-based foundation that I really love by Jafra. That's called Royal Radiance. So it's, you know, it's like medium coverage. You can get a nice lightweight layer of it, or you can build it if you feel like you need more coverage. Now, what I've done is put that deep shade that's super tan all over my whole face, just real light, you can see. Now I'll go with one shade lighter. What I'm doing is creating like a glowy effect. You don't have to use two shades if you don't want to. I just love the way that it looks. If I'm gonna do like this ramped up glamorous look, I love to take these extra steps. Now don't get me wrong, if I'm just gonna be hanging out or if I'm in a hurry, I won't do all of this. I get caught all the time around this beauty bar with no makeup on or just mascara and lipstick, and that's okay if that's your jam. I feel like it's okay to just, you know who you are and be okay with your own personal style, your own personal makeup look. Like whatever your jam is okay. But if you do want to ramp it up for a night on the town, if you're going to go out with your honey or if you're going to go out with your girlfriends, you may want to get jiggy with it. You know what I mean? All right, so I've gone through the middle really with that lighter shade. So the first one I used is the Royal Radiance foundation in the shade Tawny, which is a shade too deep for me. And now I'm using the same foundation, Royal Radiance, in the shade Nude. And that's a little bit too light for me. And you're like, well, why wouldn't you just use one in the middle and have an exact match? Well, it's because I'm concentrating the light in the middle and at the jawline. So it's almost like I've done kind of a contour technique. Now I'll use some of the light shade right on my eyelids to brighten them up, and a little bit right underneath. I do like to use 2 shades of foundation when I have time because it can add dimension. And I always like to bring a little bit of foundation down my neck. That way everything just comes together. All right, looking pretty good. I'll make sure it's blended into my hairline a little bit better than that. All right, that's a pretty nice kind of glowy shade. I really like how that turned out together. I'll just go over the top with a light dusting of translucent powder. And this is really just like a nice translucent. It's a lighter shade. And it's a really fine translucent powder. So it's not gonna cake up. It's not necessarily for baking or oil absorbing. It's just for setting and buffing foundation. I really like to go over the eyelids to make sure they're well prepped and ready to go when I get to eyeshadow. Okay, I'm gonna hop into some contour. You guys know I love contour, but I do like to keep it easy. Simple steps. Okay, so I've got my contour palette. That's the Beauty Bar brand. That's what I was talking about. I have a few products here that are my own brand. And I'm gonna start with this lighter contour shade. I think the deep contour is too much for me, but I am gonna use it later for my eyeshadow. I do like to kind of multi-purpose different products. So I'll start right underneath my cheekbone and bring it up. And you can see I bring it up. I don't like to drag it down to the side of my mouth. I like to give it a little lift. I'm gonna swap out mirrors real quick. I like this one better. It's a little more clear. All right, here we go. And you can see I use this weird, like bouncing technique. I like it better than scraping back and forth like my mom used to do with her blush back in the day. All right, swooping it up, like I said. Making the weirdest faces ever while I do. Now I'll get the forehead up by the hairline. And I may choose to go back and do a little more contour when this look is a little more complete. I don't know. I might want to deepen it because this is, you know, night on the town, Vegas. But I'm not really going out right now. When I get done with this look, I'm actually going to go pick up my pants that I've had tailored for Vegas. And so it's the middle of the day. I'm definitely going to be overdone. It's going to be good. It'll be great when I head into the grocery store and look like I'm ready to head on to stage somewhere. That'll be hilarious. I'm sure somebody will want to know what I do for a living. All right, so you can see I've gone kind of around the hairline like this, and I've left kind of a half moon right here that's lighter and brighter. So really just bringing that nice glowy warmth around the hairline. I'll do my jaw. I know you guys have probably seen me contour so much, but it still seems to be a little bit daunting for some people. So I hope that you give it a try. And remember, practice makes perfect every time. Now, I want to show you another little trick with contour. If you bring it down on the sides, and in the middle, it will elongate your neck. It gives the illusion of a longer neck, which I'm a huge fan of. So right through here to kind of chisel out your jawline, and then down the middle, right here, and right here. And you know, keep them blended and soft. You don't want 3 stripes on your neck. You don't want to be severe. Making sure everything's blended. We're gonna go into blush now. I'm gonna take a couple of little dabs of the pink and the orange. I'll do 1 pink, actually that was 2 of each. 2 pinks and 1 orange. I like to mix them together. Now you could just do pink or you could just do orange, you know, whatever the occasion calls for, but I really like a peach, and pink and orange tend to do that. I'm gonna put it right on top of the contour. And fade toward my nose, just like the contour did. Now you can see I came up kind of high with it, and that's okay because I'm gonna do concealer later, so it will kind of buff it away. And I always say, get a little bit deeper with your blush than you think you should, because by the time you're done with it, it tends to be washed out and you're like, where'd my blush go? So this way, you're not, where'd my blush go? You're like, ooh, look at my blush. All right, right on top again. And again with that kind of bouncing and buffing motion. And then I'll do a little bit right above my arch of my brows and a little bit right on the bridge of my nose. All right, it's pretty deep right now. I look like I may have been smacked, but I haven't been, I promise. And it's really gonna come together well. You guys know me well enough by now, you can trust me, but hold please, because I need hydration. It's hot over here. All right, let's head over into eyeshadow. And I'm gonna use my powder that I've already used, the one that I used for my whole face. I'm just gonna use it right on my whole eyelid. With a fat eyeshadow brush. Okay, now I will use the same contour shade I used for my cheek, that medium, kind of the lighter of the 2 contour shades, I'm gonna use for my crease color. And you can see I'm using the good old windshield wiper method. And I'm gonna bring it up, up, up to my brow. I always say do this higher than you think you should. Just swirling gently, buffing like a crazy lady. That's coming up pretty high. A little bit more. So I'm using a lot more product than you usually see me use. But I am blending a lot. All right, I'm still gonna even use more than that. I really want that depth to come up closer to my brow, okay? I'll go to the other side now. I will come closer. Darker on the outside, bring it up towards the brow. Always up higher than you think. A little bit more. Okay, I'm gonna swap brushes. I'm gonna get a smaller brush. I'm gonna get this little guy here. You can see he's still fluffy, but smaller than the last one. And I will use that darker shade of brown, that darker contour that I was talking about that I didn't want to use on my cheeks, and use it on the outer corners right here. And bringing it down to my lash line and just to my brow bone and up a little bit, because I don't want it to disappear when I open my eyes with these hooded eyelids. I want you to still be able to see it. And sometimes you can open your eye and still do your eyeshadow. So my eyes are open and I still want to be able to see where I'm putting it. Bringing it out further than usual, because you know this is a little bit more dramatic than usual. You know, night on the town, Vegas, picture it, you know.
All right, I can pick up a cue.
Felt like one of the Golden Girls. Picture it, Sicily.
Sicily.
Oh, picture it, Caesar's palace. Which, not far from Sicily. Crack myself up, I tell you. Okay, just down to the lash line. And then up. Bringing it up. Constantly moving my mirror around so you guys can get a decent view of what's going on. Really hope you try some of these techniques at home. And these, you know, the eyeshadow part doesn't have to be super precise. I'm not getting really like intensely artistic with this because I want you to be able to use these no matter what your eye shape is. But it's more focused on shades, bringing it up, using a lot of product, and focused on color and bringing it out really nice and far, okay? So I don't want you to fret about it too much, you know, if you have a hooded lid or mature eyes. Okay, so now I am gonna do something that is a little bit different than I normally do. I wanna use some concealer, and I'm gonna just use a good old liquid concealer. This is the Beauty Bar brand that I carry here. Just liquid concealer. This is the lightest, one of the lightest shades that I have. And with my concealer brush, a small end, I'm gonna put a little bit on my inner eyelid, just here on the bottom. I'm gonna just kind of be mimicking a cut crease technique. Now, if you have really hooded lids or maybe very mature eyelids, you can forego this step, it's okay. I'm just brightening them up so that my next eyeshadow I use is really gonna pop. But if your bottom eyelid doesn't show at all, don't worry about this step. Just keep it easy. Okay, I'm gonna take a smaller brush. I'm sorry, I mean a fluffier brush. Just to blend it. Okay. Now, this side. You can see I'm going kind of in a half moon shape, sort of. And I'm not using my magnifying mirror, you guys, so I'm not seeing it real super great, so I don't want to be overly technical. All right. And the fluffy brush again. I feel like they're a little off, like I should have brought a little bit more over this way. So I'm gonna do it. Okay. There. I think I did it good enough. That's another thing with makeup. Sometimes it can be good enough. It doesn't have to be perfect. So the reason why I did that is because I'm gonna go back with that lighter shade of eyeshadow. I'm sorry, I didn't even use a lighter shade of eyeshadow. I meant my powder. What's going on right now? That powder that I used for my lighter shade of eyeshadow. And I'm just gonna go over the concealer just to buff it, dry it down, set it, whatever you wanna call it. You could Ron Po peel, set it and forget it. God, that guy was brilliant. He came up with the best crazy nonsense nobody needed. Okay, going back to my deepest shade of contour that I was using for eyeshadow. And just back blending a little bit. Just to bring that lighter shade and that deeper shade together so that they're friends. Ta-da! Ooh, I may have put my mirror up too high. Let me do it again so you can see. Okay, I think I put my mirror up too high again. There you go. Okay. Now I'm gonna take let me show you. The gold shimmer and pop it right on top of that lighter area that I created with concealer. So I'm just using my ring finger. You could use a small eyeshadow brush if you want, but gently just patting it on. Almost like stamping it. You can see how that catches the light real pretty too. And do the other side. Stamp, stampy, McStamperson. Okay, so that's really nice and like gold, almost like foiling. But I have a little extra product that I love to use. And this is a little kind of a shimmer, almost like a glittery addition I'm gonna do. This is a product by ColourPop, and I love this crazy stuff. You can get it at Target, Sephora, whatever. I don't know about your Sephora or your Ulta, but they're almost always out of it here. I've had better luck at Target when I need it. So I'm gonna just use my ring finger again and get a good amount of it. Let's see if I can get down to the nitty gritty here. There we go. And I'm gonna get in there and just pop a little on top. So instead of just the shimmer from the highlight powder, it has also added a little bit of a glitter to it, like a twilight. Super pretty. Super. Getting a little bit more on my ring finger for the other side. I think I may have sprinkled some on my face. It's okay, I'm gonna look like Tinkerbell attacked me. Got kicked in the face by Tinkerbell. Which sometimes when I see people out and about and they have just really been overloaded by glitter, that's what I usually think. You got in a fight with a pixie. All right, I'm really liking it. Now I will go back to the white highlighter, the diamond color that I have in there. And you guys have seen me do this technique quite a bit, I'm sure. And I'll grab a little bit of the white diamond there. Let me swap my mirrors again. And put it right here. Right on the inner corner. And you can forego this step if it's not your most favorite thing ever. Some people really don't like the extra pop on the inner corner. I really love it. But I've had clients who specifically say, like, don't do that white shimmer. I hate it. So it's definitely personal preference. I feel like it really opens up the inner corner of your eyes quite a bit. Especially if you've got hooded lids right in the inner corner, you can do that because that's not going to be covered by a hooded lid usually, so you can get a little pop of shimmer there if you want it. Okay, I'm going to take my concealer brush on the larger side and just sweep under here because I do feel like I got attacked by Tinkerbell. So I'm just sweeping it out just a little bit. All right, so I want to go back to my small brush that I was using for the deeper shade of eyeshadow, and I'm going to go underneath my eye now. Really smoky. So smoky. Adds a pretty good amount of definition, but not a whole lot in the corners. So just some smoky definition underneath. We'll go back with a pencil and add more. So looking pretty good there so far with eyeshadow. Let's head over to eyeliner, which I'm gonna use a brown eyeliner right now, really dark brown on my bottom lash line. Not a lot, I'm just feathering it across the lashes to bring out my lash line further than it is. I'm trying to give myself like a fake lash line to make it appear longer. So starting right here, feathering it, and now I'll bring it out. But because I started with that powder first, I don't have to be so technical with the pencil. Make sure they're even. Okay. Now I'm going to swap over to black. I'm not gonna concentrate too hard on a wing. I really like a liquid, nice sharp wing on myself, but I'm gonna keep it a little bit softer and smokier because I'm gonna use a false lash anyway. And I wanna, you know, I'm gonna take it easy. I've done a lot of work already, so I'll start on the outer corner. Ooh, let me swap to that magnifier so I can see a little bit better. This is a little more in depth. And I'm connecting it with the brown, going all the way to the lash line. This is the beauty of using a pencil. It's not quite as hard to manipulate as liquid. It is a little more forgiving. And I was going this way and I turned it this way and just laid it right on my lash line and just feathering it across. It disappears into my lashes as I got to the middle. I wanted it to be fatter on the outer area and fade as it went in. Now, leaving my eye open, if you can do this, it's a big help. Leaving my eye open, I'll just try to fill it in where it disappears since I have a hooded lid. And then connect it. So see how much fatter it got on that outer corner? But that's how it doesn't disappear when I open my eyes with that hooded eyelid. Okay, so starting over here, again, just nice and skinny. Working my way in. I got halfway. Now I'll flip it. Real skinny on the lash line, so it kind of disappears. And now just like the other side, I'm gonna open up so I can see where that wing disappeared. And now check it out. Bring it all together. And I started with a nice sharp eyeliner. Okay, so I got them pretty even. Did my best. They're still not perfect, and it's okay because it's just pencil. And I'm gonna go back in with a little bit of eyeshadow and just smoke them out a little. So that's another reason I love to use pencil, because you can do that. It's really forgiving that way, you guys. I'm gonna use a deep chocolate eyeshadow to do that with. And you don't have to do this stuff. You could smudge it like with your ring finger. You could smudge out your eyeliner if it's not perfect. You could leave it really bold. If you prefer liquid, that's okay. But I like to go back with that small brush. Just tap that off and just kind of bounce some of that dark chocolate eyeshadow right there. And make it really soft, but really deep. Let me do it over here for you. All right, I like it a lot, I do. Okay. Pretty intense eye look for me, but you know, night out on the town, what do you expect? All right, I'm gonna go back and define my brows a little bit. I'm gonna probably just use some eyeshadow for that because that makes it pretty simple for me. And I have a really like neutral, almost like chestnut shade of eyeshadow that I can use for that. So I'll just go right over the top. Right in the arches. You can use pencil or pomade, whatever your favorite brow product is. And I just want to keep the inner corner still kind of soft. I don't want to block it out really bad. All right. Super simple. Hop into some mascara. I'm gonna, of course, use the Royal Luxe Drama that I talk about constantly. It just takes a little bit. And I am gonna use some false lashes, but I'll use the half lashes to just add some depth and definition on the outer corners. They're also much easier for me to get on too. I don't have to battle with them. It's like battle eyelash every day around here. Speaking of battle eyelash, one of my students told me, well, you're probably wondering, students of what? So I have a makeup artist academy here at the beauty bar, and I have beautiful and hilarious students who, one of them said I was the Gordon Ramsay of makeup. I don't know if that was good or bad. I'll take it as good. All right. Done with the top. Now for the bottom, just a little bit. I have friends who don't really like to do their bottom lashes. I say if you've got them, definitely put some mascara on them, because it really helps with the definition of the eye. All right, hop over to the other side. Don't be afraid to leave your mouth hanging open like a weirdo. It helps. Oh, just got a dot of mascara on my fabulous eyeshadow. All right, it's a good time for a tip. If you do that, don't go in there and start trying to take it off right away. Just leave it for a minute. And once it dries, it's easier to just wipe it away or kind of buff it away with your eyeshadow brush. I'll show you. That's funny. I'm like, this is a teaching moment. Now with this mascara, something I like to do is actually push the lashes up while they're still wet. I know that looked pretty weird, but actually helps shove them backwards and then stay up there. It's kind of weird. So with the eyeshadow, or with the mascara I got in my eyeshadow, I can easily, because it was dry, I just buffed it right off. Can't even see it anymore. Woohoo! Okay, so I'm done with the brows, with the mascara. I will use some concealer right now, just a little tiny bit. I think I'll get a little bit more than I have, just in case. I'm gonna mix it with eye cream. I always do that. Well, I'm gonna say like 95% of the time I do that. I'm gonna use fluffier than usual concealer brush. And I like to mix my eye cream with my concealer, even though I already have eye cream on. It just keeps it nice and moist. Just putting a little bit on. I don't need a lot because I don't really have dark circles. I just like to brighten up under the eyes. Let me come closer. And this is where you can clean up any eyeshadow, sprinkles, traces of Tinkerbell kicking you in the face, anything like that. Any mistakes you made or poking yourself with mascara on accident. So this is a good time to go back and just clean anything up that you need. That's another reason I love to leave the concealer till later in the game. And then slicing that eyeshadow nice and sharp. Okay, see what I'm doing with my arm? It's like almost like a circus act along with the makeup tutorial. Okay, I want to make sure I have these even though. All right. See, look at that blush. Remember how it was out of control and now it's like kind of looking pretty good? It just comes together, especially because I brought that concealer down into it. All right, we are getting into the thick of it. I'm gonna do some lips. Oh wait, I'm gonna do some highlighter on my cheeks. Let's do that. A little bit on the tip of my nose. And my Cupid's bow. All right. I'm gonna take a nude shade of lip liner. I'm keeping my lips really nude and muted because I've got so much of everything else going on. Okay, so I finished my lip liner. I just did a little bit of concealer in the middle, and I'm gonna go in with a lip plumper that's pretty clear. It just has a little bit of shimmer to it because, like I said, I want a really nude, muted lip. I still had to keep some definition on the line though because my lip line has really disappeared as I've aged, so I still have that going on. All right, now I've got some setting spray. I'm gonna use my good old basic Jafra Beauty setting spray. It's got coconut water and aloe in it, so it's super soothing for my skin. And now I'll do my lashes. I like to, when I remember, do my lashes after my setting spray because I don't wanna soak my lashes in setting spray. All right, I've got one lash. Now I'm going for that second one. And these are just little half lashes. Much easier to apply than a whole lash usually. Making sure they're good and secure all the way down to the lash line. All right, let me get a little bit bigger magnifier just so I can double check Yep, good to go. All right, so my look is complete. I've already done setting spray. I've got my lashes. Well, I said my look is complete, but it's really not. So what about this whacked out hair, you say? All right, so let's fix the whacked out hair. Now, I want to show you something really simple. I'm going to put my hair up, especially with a shirt like this that I have under this robe. I would want to wear my hair up. And with it being super hot, that might be my best option right now. It's kind of a groovy shirt. I don't really know what color this is. It reminds me possibly of like fluorescent red. What do you guys think? All right, so with my hair, I'm gonna use one of these crazy like rat combs just to add a little bit of volume in the top and the front. Hair's kind of easy for me though, because I don't usually fret too much when I put it up. Sometimes people like let it bother them quite a bit and they're like, I can't take it. I need it to be perfect and nice and neat. And sometimes I just feel like the messier the better. So I'm going to use a couple of bobby pins now. All right. There, got to get some on both sides. Nice and slick on the sides. And especially because my hair's not real big, I've got it kind of slicked back. I can do a larger earring, which is always fun. I like these because they're not really heavy either. Like a big earring that's not heavy is always a bonus. Straight there, lady. All right. Ta-da! What do you think? Let me know in the comments what you think. Let me know if you would try any piece of this look, even if it's just the earrings. But let me know if you would give this eyeshadow an attempt. I hope that you would. I'll see you guys next time. Thank you so much, my friends, for stopping by my channel. Whether you're going to Vegas or maybe just trying a new look for the day, I hope you give this a try. I hope I brought value to your day. I hope you know that I appreciate your time. Love you so much.